Hello again. It's Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, and if you live in North America, you may be aware that there are quite a few opportunities for picking up art supplies at a discount. Which is why today I would like to talk about Prismacolor Premier colored pencils. I hear a fair number of bad things about them, and I think some are unjustified. I firmly believe these are good pencils and are often at a price point that makes them a top pick in my book. I'll take a few minutes to discuss the negative aspects of the pencils. The first one is issues with breaking leads. Now, personally, I've had no issues with the Prismacolor Premier leads breaking. Lots of problems with the student-grade Prismacolor Scholars, but not with the Premiers. Prismacolor Premiers are not as lightfast as some of the other artist-grade pencils, and this is true. Faber-Castell appear to hold up better in lightfast tests that I've done. Other brands like Lyra Rembrandt are significantly more light resistant, but I also find that Lyra Rembrandt are horrible pencils to work with. We can quickly look at lightfast results from Scholar pencils compared with the Premiers. These are the Premier results. This is almost 2 years of light exposure in the brightest room of our house, and they do see direct sunlight. One side is covered to protect it from the sun, while the other is exposed. And you can see some colors like lilac are faded. Maybe ultramarine is a bit faded. But overall, the colors are still bright and holding up well. On the lighter side, the blush pink has certainly faded. Maybe a couple of the greens have changed color a bit. But overall, not so bad. Now, if I bring up the Prismacolor Scholar results, the same thing was done. One side exposed, the other covered up. And we can see that the light violet is faded, mauve as well, general fading in many of the other colors, especially the neon colors. Violet is faded, light pink and orange, and light blue. So it's fairly clear to me why you'd pay more for Premier pencils than Scholars. They are much more light resistant. Another complaint about Premier pencils is wax bloom. Some people mention they produce a wax bloom. I have yet to notice this. I do notice when I use the Scholar pencils that the waxiness of the pencils limits layers to 3 or 4. They are wax pencils, so it can be expected that you get a wax bloom, but this isn't too much of an issue with me. And the last negative thing that I notice is that the pencils are too soft. Because they are so soft, they tend to fill the tooth of the paper quite quickly. This can limit layering. But it also makes them blend a lot easier than other pencils. And in the right room conditions, they can still be layered even if the tooth of the paper is full because they're so soft. They almost melt onto the page. Unfortunately, because they are so soft, they don't hold the tip well. So if you want details, you will be sharpening a fair amount. Now, if we look at the positive aspects of the pencils, I mean, some of these are kind of a repeat with the negatives, but they blend and layer well, and that's because they're such a soft pencil. And then I think that's the one advantage that the Premiers have over a lot of the other pencils that I've used. They feel good when you work with them. They're nice and smooth. This may be a personal thing, but I'm not fond of scratchy, dry pencils. Once you're used to working with them, I feel they are one of the easiest pencils to use. Now, they're reasonably light fast, maybe not as good as some of the other artist-grade pencils, but they do hold up well. And you can always buy a UV archival spray to cover your drawing with if you want them to last longer. By far the best feature is the price. A set of 60 Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils will cost me about $120. Boxing Day sales for a 72 set of Prismacolor Premier are as low as $52. So that is less than half the price. For the 132 set, they come in at $92. That is double the amount of pencils for $30 less. Personally, I'd go with the 72 set because that's the one I own and I'm happy with the colors it comes with. So, a quick recap. The biggest difference between Prismacolor Premier and the Prismacolor Scholar student pencils is the Premier pencils are a softer wax, whereas the Scholars are a mixture of soft and hard waxes. The Premiers have higher amounts of pigment and thus more intense colors. And the Premiers tend to perform better in lightfast tests, at least the tests that I have done. If you want to compare prices, the Scholars are typically $20 to $30, often as low as $20 if you can get them on sale. A 48 set of Premiers would be in the $30 to $40 range. The 72 set currently on sale for $52. I believe I picked mine up for around $48. To me, the prices are very similar, keeping in mind I'm talking about sale prices. I feel you are getting a much better pencil in the Premiers, and they would always be my first choice. And lastly, I'll show a few quick examples of what you can do with the Premier pencils. First one here is Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, using mostly the 48 set of Premiers. I was happy with the end result. I thought it looked really nice. Next one here, not as good a result, but still not that bad. The light side was done with Prismacolor Scholar pencils, so the student grade pencils. The dark side of President Donald Trump was done with the Premiers. And this was deliberate as I knew I could get more intense colors out of the artist grade pencils. And lastly, the Superman drawing was done using Prismacolor Premiers on one side and Faber-Castell Polychromos on the other. I need to look back at the video to figure out which is which. I honestly can't tell now, but overall I was happy with the result. I hope you find this video useful. Be sure to take advantage of any sales that are going on right now. I feel this is one of the best times of the year to stock up on art supplies. My next project is almost complete and hopefully I'll have another video up before the new year. Take care and thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.